Alright, I'm going to do a quick video on making a Linethru swim bait out of a normal Paddletail swim bait. I like the Jackall Rhythm Wave 4.8. It really fits the rivet really well and just has an ultra realistic swimming action to it. Haven't really found anything better than these. They're also really durable. I'm getting 15 to 20 fish normally off of one bait, so that's what I'm using for that. You're also going to need some rivets. I use the aluminum. These are the medium. You're going to want to use the long rivets for these because the medium are not long enough. Also, like the DOA shrimp weights, they either come in the 1/4 ounce or the 1/2 ounce size, which are actually more like a little over a 1/16 or 3/16 ounce. They fit really well in the body, and unlike a nail weight, they keep a really realistic swimming action because they're not going through the body as much. It's only one small section of the body that the weight's in, so it gives it a lot more freedom to swim. I also use a owner twist lock centering pin spring. I cut the centering pin out of it, so it's going to look like this. This is going to be the hook keeper. You're going to screw this into the bait and you'll run your hook through the loop at the end, and it'll keep the hook from pulling forward and ripping out the belly of the lure. You're also going to need a pick. This is how you run your rivet through the nose of the bait, and makes it really easy to push the rivet back through without messing anything up. Okay, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to run the rivet through the nose of the bait. Now you're going to take your pick, and it's easier to start your hole from going from the belly towards the nose. So you're going to run your pick through just like this. Try to keep it as centered as possible because we all know it's very important that your swim bait swims straight. So you run it through like that. Now pull your pick back out, turn it around, and run it back through the nose towards the back of the bait. Through the same hole. Just like that. Now take your rivet, push your rivet on the tip of the pick, and push the whole thing back through. It's that easy. Now you can use these weightless. You got to count them down a little bit more. They don't sink as fast, but they do work well weightless. But there's your basic rig with just installing the Linethru rivet. Now for the weight, what you're going to want to do is run your pick starting back towards, you're going to want to get it pretty centered in the belly, just forward of the center mark of your hook slot in the belly. So you're going to want to start probably 3/4 of the way through the hook slot and run your pick towards the front of the bait. And you're going to want to keep it pretty shallow and pretty even as you run it through there. I usually twist it a little bit because the weight's a little big, so you're going to want to wallow your hole out a little bit. Pull that back out. Take your weight. You need to find that hole again. Push the weight into the hole, keeping your barbs to the sides, as you're going to help your weight stay in the lure. Then I take my pick and carefully push that weight up through there without stabbing myself. You're going to want to keep it as straight as possible. and this is probably the most important part of the rig, is getting this weight in there evenly, because if you don't, the bait will flip over and swim upside down, and nobody wants that. So you see how simple that is? I've now got the rivet and the weight in there. This bait should be super balanced, should swim perfectly without issues of rolling over on you. Now, the hook keeper. This is the part that took me a little bit of time to figure out, because if you just run your treble up through the belly into the plastic, it will rip out the belly. I mean, the hook will eventually stop at the weight, but after a little while it'll start to tear out and come around the weight, and it will not swim evenly at that point. So you want to take this centering pin spring and going towards the back of the bait, you're going to want to twist it in there with the twist lock spring. Now you can't even really see it in there, but it's there. You want it side to side and at an angle going back, because if you push it straight down, the rest of the spring will interfere with your hook being able to go into the bait far enough to sit flat against the bait. I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, now I've got an Owner ST36 size 2 treble. This is not what I normally use, but it's what I had laying around to use for this video. I really like the Aaron Martin's TGW Nano Finesse treble hooks for this rig. Just the way the hooks bends are, they match up with the bait really well and are sticky sharp, and I haven't had any problems with fish not hooking up on them. But for this video, I'm going to use this hook. Very simple. You got your hook keeper. We want to run it through the eye of the twist lock and into the bait. Just like that. See how straight everything is? This bait is perfect. This will catch you 20 to 30 fish possibly, 15 fish easy. The way it slides up and down the line is just phenomenal. Fish do not come off when you get them hooked up. A little tip would be to add some super glue around the flange of the rivet and glue it to the bait. That will make sure that that rivet does not ever come out of there. I've never had a problem with a bait tearing up where the rivet comes out. It's always the hook that will tear the bait up, or the fish will just eat it so many times that there's nothing left. But you can see with the way the hook is in that hook keeper, it does not move at all. So pretty simple. That's my rig. Try it out. I guarantee you it will catch you some fish, and you will be amazed at how good this thing works. There you go.